gotta make it public. Fuck. Hold on.
I made it public.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, well. Oh, we're public.
Welcome.
I just cut off the intro in the middle. I thought we were slipping. No, we're public.
I don't know, man. I changed it. Let's do it again.
Good evening, Dumpster Fire participants. We are joined by a special guest, Alex Rollins. His link in his channel, he does film breakdowns, and we needed an expert to break down the Super Bowl of the 57, which we all saw and enjoyed on Sunday. Alex, what did you think of that game?
Man, I thought it was incredible. I enjoyed it thoroughly. I know some people had issues with it at the end. I think not every game's going to be perfect. It was an unbelievable amount of scoring. The defense was kind of not up to our necessary standards, but I think it was more so because of incredible offense. And I think it was a legendary game, and I enjoyed every second of it, honestly.
Tree, what did you think? I mean, we did a live reaction to it, so a lot of our loyal viewers saw what we felt about it. But we've had 2 days to digest it. We also had some some off-season transactions happen today. There are no more coachless teams in the NFL, and then there's a little shit talking on the Twitters from a little Juju. AJ Brown got in on the action. Who else? Somebody else joined in. Micah Parsons joined in. It was some good offseason banner. But Tree, what did you think of the game itself?
I thought it was a good game, a little one-sided, not really much defense, to be quite honest. But I don't know how much of that was because of the field itself, because there was a lot of slipping and falling there. They said they spent $800,000 on that field. I mean, I don't know much about, cultivating grass, but at the same time, you think you'd get that settled before the game, because apparently there was the same issues with the Fiesta Bowl earlier this month, I think, what I was reading.
I was shocked as well. I don't think it changed the outcome, or it affected the crispness of play, but I don't think it affected the outcome of the game. I think the game was going to be what it was, because that's how the script writers chose it to be. But here, let's get through a couple super chats, and then I want to dive into both the ending of the game, and then Alex is here really to break down what the Chiefs did offensively versus the defense, or lack thereof in this game, which was pretty ugly from a like, if you like defensive football, like
that was
yeah.
And it wasn't like there were big hits. It wasn't like there was, some skillful, artful, pass deflections. Like, to me, like, there's a difference between defensive football and ugly football. And this was like, kind of ugly from a defensive standpoint. But anyways, Green Draco says, Tree, are you happy for Juju? Probably not.
It's okay. Like, I don't really have anything that against him. It's not like an AB situation where he ran himself out of town. Juju and Pittsburgh kind of went mutual separate ways, because Juju was kind of excess goods in that roster at the time. You had George Pickens that you had just drafted as a replacement. You have Chase Claypool, Deontay Johnson.
Well, Claypool's gone now. You don't have anything.
Well, George Pickens.
Yeah, you got
Pickens. And Calvin Austin when
Deontay Johnson. Yeah, and he also asked Tree and 5, what do you think about Chad Henne in his career? Now, didn't Henne come in that playoff run?
Yep, he came in Jacksonville. He came in the Jacksonville game when he was
Well,
injured.
no. A couple years ago, he came in.
No, he was. Oh,
he played in that
Cleveland.
Browns. I think he played in that Browns game. Yeah.
And he actually played well. Like Mahomes has had. I mean, like he's gutted out both Super Bowl runs. Like you got to respect him. The dude is already. He's on Brady track, and that's scary because you never think that anyone would be like that again. And Christopher Bowden says, my Chiefs are Super Bowl champs. Being a Chiefs fan is like the song, We Are the Champions. I paid my dues and served my time. Now I can revel in it. Now, Alex, I got to ask you, who's your team? Did we ask this last time you appeared? And
we talked about this for a sec. I'm from Oakland. I lived there. It was the Raiders. They went to Vegas. They just burned my heart. So, hey, if anybody in the chat's willing to pitch me a team, I mean, I'm
that's
still,
right. You
I'm
should
still homeless.
auction it off. You should auction it off. That's what
charity or something.
Yeah, sell it to the
bad
highest
idea.
bidder, like in what's that movie in Japan, Madame Bovary or whatever, or no, it's the prostitute movie. Speaking of, it's Valentine's Day.
Memoirs of a Geisha. Memoirs of a Geisha.
No, it's I forget what it is.
I thought it was Memoirs of a Geisha.
That's it. Memoirs of a Geisha. You should auction off your fangenity, Alex. All right, let's get into this game from a technical standpoint. So we'll be reading super chats as we go. Keep them coming, guys. If you have any questions for Alex, you were breaking down the film. So you've started on KC versus the Eagles defense. What stood out to you in looking at the actual film? Like, is there something that was just like, whoa, this is next level shit right here?
Yeah, I think the main question was the pass rush coming in for the Eagles. I think if you watch them week by week, it was how are the Chiefs going to slow them down? How is Mahomes going to deal with that insane amount of pressure? Honestly, the field did have a lot to do with it, which is unfortunate.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I mean, I think Ollie Connolly, who I think he has his own Substack, which is called Read Optional, he tweeted out that he charted it, and I think it was like 40 or 50% of the snaps had a player slip on the Eagles. So it was that bad. There was a play where Hargrave, right at the snap, his foot just like he's pushing off, his foot just gives out, and then Tooney just like falls in him. And I don't know if you can call that a pancake necessarily, but it was. I mean, it's shocking. It was absolutely unbelievable, and that was a big part of it. I think from a technical standpoint, what was really cool was all the things Andy Reid did to slow down the pass rush. He threw the Chiefs ran a multitude of different types of runs. There was screens, there was motion, there was all these things where he didn't want the pass rush to be comfortable getting upfield, and they weren't. There was a couple traps where 93, forget what his name is, but he goes right over the field, nobody blocks him, and just gets whammed. And you can kind of see that hesitation play out through the game. They really just didn't feel comfortable flying off the ball. There was a lot of chips outside, chips inside, a lot of 12 personnel with 2 tight ends. So we're leaving 1 tight end just to block and just make sure that Reddick has somebody in his face. Reddick was uncomfortable. And honestly, I think one of his talents and skills, obviously it's very hard to sack him, and he was sacked 0 times. But because he's developed so much as a passer from inside the pocket, one really cool thing that I noticed, and if people go back and watch it, the Chiefs knew that Mahomes was going to get the ball out very, very quickly. And so what their offensive line would do was jump set them, which means get their hands on them as quickly as possible. But usually you're lunging forward when you do that. You're really trying to attack the guy and knock him back. They were kind of lightly jumping him. The Eagles front is all about pass rushing. It's not the best run defense front. And so they were getting jumped, but they knew that the Eagles defensive line was going to counter those hands right away. So they were almost sitting back. So they were almost inviting them to counter their hands, and then they were still anchored down. So
Gotcha. So they gave them kind of a softer front so that they could basically counter that. Somebody did their homework, is what you're saying. Is like they looked and examined all their tendencies, and I think that's one thing that Sirianni might have been a victim of. Was he probably, and I don't know if you if you saw this on film, he's so arrogant that he probably didn't want to change anything up. He's like, this has gotten us here. These are our tendencies, and you're just gonna have to beat us. And Andy Reid doesn't play that game. I don't think so.
Andy Reid's
I'm going to be real, like the go to the game, and I hate to like put it on a guy, but like Jonathan Gannon, it was just exactly to what you were just saying. He just rolled out what he always does. If that pass rush isn't getting pressure, which has gotten insane pressure all year long, they're fine. They're incredible, right? And we finally saw, because of the scheme and because of the field conditions, they just weren't pressuring him, and the coverage got picked apart, honestly.
I just wonder because, I saw that tweet about the surface of the field and how they spent this $800,000. I don't know if it was
the sod father, right?
Yeah. What's
93-year-old? I forget his name. He's like a 93-year-old
Last year
dude.
he's ever done it, and then we never hear about it again. That guy.
Yeah. I mean, I know in baseball there's one guy. I mean, I just did a video on drainage, so like I'm up to speed on this. Sometimes, maybe they overwatered it. It could have been excessively moist in there. They could have. One thing that I'm thinking of is maybe they over air conditioned the Super Bowl because they anticipated so many extra people being there, and that could have caused an excess amount of moisture on.
That puts moisture on the field, right?
Yeah, and that could have made it slippery.
Yeah. Guy's name is George Toma. I just looked it up.
Yeah, George Toma. There's a dude in baseball that does the White Sox field, and he's like a beast. Go ahead.
I heard a little bit that it was the paint they put on. They put it on too late. I heard that as well. Do you think that had anything to maybe do with it?
Well, there was a lot.
I don't know enough about like
there was
grass
a lot of slips in the paint.
Yes, that was what that people were kind of leaning towards there.
Yeah. Good old paint. That's what I used to do. I used to huff paint after elementary school, and that's why I'm here today.
And here we are.
Yep, and here we are.
Real kids did Elmer's glue.
The origin story right there.
Let me get through a couple supers, and I want to talk about Travis Kelce. So Tucker White says, I always say don't put yourself in a position where bad officiating affects the game. The refs didn't cost the Eagles. Their defense did. Great point. I'm sure Alex will talk about that. Cole Stanek. Hey, Five, did you see that Mark Davis is trying to copy your look? Oh, did Mark Davis go bald?
No, that was Photoshop.
Oh,
somebody put it
Photoshop.
out. Yeah, it turned out to be Photoshop.
He should go bald. He should just give up and go my look. Like that haircut's not working. Slimer,
dude,
get out of here.
Pull it up, baby.
Yep. AAA says never overlook the true story. Matt Nagy is a Super Bowl champion against the same team he lost against in the playoffs a few years ago. Yep.
It broke him.
Matt
the double
Nagy.
doink.
Yep. And then Ivan says, punish Perna, punish Perna, punish Perna. For the love of God, punish Perna. Since the Chiefs won the Super Bowl for making a dumb take saying that Derek Carr is worth the first-round pick. Yeah, that also happened today, too. I was surprised that both sides played the charade as long as they did, because Carr would not benefit by going to a team that gave up a first-round pick for him. And then today I got educated on Twitter. The dead cap for him getting straight up cut was only $5 million. Why did they do this dance for so long? It was stupid.
Yeah, I think it's kind of just classic Raiders just shooting themselves in the foot and just not having the proper contract in place. Looking forward, when you're constantly cycling out all these general managers, the plan's just not going to be cohesive. I grew up with this, and it's
right.
I want to say McKenzie was the one that signed that contract. Was he?
Yeah.
Was that group?
I think Mayock might have extended him. I think, but it could have been McKenzie.
Let me double check.
Yeah, you check on that. All right, let's talk about Kelce. He was getting open the whole again. It goes back to Gannon, who's now the head coach of the Arizona Cardinals. So good luck to them.
He got extended this past year, but at $121.5 million. But I guess they're an opt-out this year.
Yeah.
My thing is, if there's a guy that you cannot let beat you, it's got to be Kelce, right? And so first and then we'll pivot to Schuster after that. But tell me how Kelce was getting so wide open the first half and what you saw on film with that.
Yeah, so not to rag on Gannon, but I'm pretty sure I charted that he only had one snap of double coverage which is just, I mean, as you said, that's one thing if you have Tyreek Hill still on the field, but I mean, who is the second guy who's going to beat you? Like, Tony's impressive, but I think he played 6 snaps or something. I mean,
MVS is a possession guy all day. Like, he's not a deep threat at all. Like there was no Mecole Hardman anyways. Like, it baffled my mind.
McKinnon but he's more of a check down because speaking to your point, the 2 guys who were covering him on those big plays in the first half, especially first touchdown, were Epps and TJ Edwards. Yep. I mean, those aren't your big guys.
Yep. Yeah, and what's that meme where, I guess it's not a meme, but it's Megatron on the goal line and the Saints are just not even staggered, but just both. I mean, just do that every play at a certain point. Mm-hmm. It's like, what are we doing? But basically, the Eagles started out playing a lot of zone, and they were a pretty zone-heavy team this year. And the way that a lot of people talk about attention to detail or coaches really – when you watch what Andy Reid was doing, he was able to zero in on a specific defender and just really stretch his rules. And that has happened in a multitude of ways. So right off the bat, we saw a couple of crossers. Those are zone beaters. The Eagles kind of like to do this thing where they play too high, but they kind of have the opposite side safety cut the crosser. And so the first time, Mahomes kind of zipped it in right over a zone linebacker's head. And the second time, they lined up Kelsey to the same side. And so instead of the opposite side safety coming down, Kelsey was now away from him because he was on the same side, if that makes sense. Yeah. And then he just cut over to the left, and he was wide open. That was the play where the linebacker just kind of zips past him. And it was really – I mean, Kelsey was incredible. That we really saw them. The Eagles got scared of playing zone. They started going man. That Kelsey touchdown, there was a little short motion. The Eagles started in too high. That made them rotate down a safety to kind of show their hand that they were actually playing one high man. And then it's 1-on-1 against Epps with Kelsey in the red zone. And it's just like,
you're not going to stop him.
Can't do that. You need somebody up top.
Too big. It seemed like just the Chiefs had an answer for everything. I mean, they put up 38 points, but like it seemed like they were ready for whatever look was out there. Did you also see that on fit? Like, it didn't matter man or zone; they were going to get their yards.
So one thing that was what's up?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
One thing that was really cool is so they had a couple little tweaks, and I'll talk about that in a sec. But let's say they were running. They want to see if a jet motion play is going to work. They're going to run certain motions on like a non-jet motion play, like a screen pass, but they'll still run jet motion to see if the Eagles react to the jet motion they want to. So they're kind of feeling things out. They're confident, but they're also saying, okay, we're not just going to put our guys in a bad situation. We're going to make sure the play before, just to see if kind of on the backside of the play, we're like away from the action, we're going to make sure that this is what we want to do and it's actually going to work. So some plays that are kind of going viral in the last few days were those kind of 2 similar plays in the low red zone. And that was actually a play that Doug Peterson had used in week 4 that Jacksonville had used from all the way back in September or wherever that was. And it's basically, it's not a bad call, but the way Gannon coached it is not good. So basically what they're doing, they're playing off of jet motion. So jet motion is when a receiver right before the play motions all the way across.
I think I can find it. Hold on real quick.
Yeah. So they have a cornerback. They were lining up in stack alignments with 2 receivers. They had 2 cornerbacks in man coverage because the Chiefs had kind of played them out of zone coverage. And what they were doing was they were starting to motion that jet receiver across. And one of the cornerbacks, the guy on the jet receiver, the Eagles have this check where the safety up top, him and the corner are going to replace positions. So they want that safety to come down on the other side, make sure he has leverage on the jet motion. They're just terrified of Sky Moore or Tony or whoever just taking a jet sweep or just taking a quick pass and scoring a touchdown. So what they do is they have the corner and safety switch, and then we saw multiple times, right? Tony and Sky Moore would just pivot back out immediately and be wide open.
Yeah.
It's like not a bad call, but the way Gannon coached it, his corner, the moment he would switch with the safety, would try and look at where he was running to up the middle of the field. So you have to keep your eye on that receiver until he actually commits across the formation. And multiple times you can go back to that week 4 Jacksonville game. They're not paying attention. They're running right to the middle of the field, and I think with that consistency, it's on the coaching staff. They're not coaching it properly. He didn't go back and scout himself and say, okay, here's how teams are attacking the way I structure my defense. And on 2 of the most critical plays, it was on him.
So how do you even defend that though? Like those were nasty play. Like here, I'm trying to find it. So I saw someone tweet out at least the Sky Moore touchdown.
I know the Sky. Apparently, he was in the wrong spot.
And he might have been on the wrong side. I don't think so. I don't think that there's any, unless that was an accident. It was like a happy little accident. But I don't think he wasn't where he was supposed to be.
Yeah, I mean that's Twitter though, so I'm not sure how you can take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah, I mean, he might have looked that way, or they put him over there so they thought that he wasn't going to do that, but he ends up doing it. So how do you defend that though? Like it's especially in man, like the way that the play starts and then it ends. It's like, whoa, that's nasty. It's really unfair.
Yeah, it's challenging, and I think that's an exciting thing to look forward towards next year of seeing how I think there are multiple iterations of teams being able to use this kind of really quick motion and pivot back out. I think that's a trend we're going to see into the upcoming season. But really, as I was saying, it's on the corner to confirm that receiver is running across the field. I actually tweeted out on my feed in the Bucks. So I don't know if you guys remember 2 years ago, I think it was the divisional round, Rams-Packers, and Devontae Adams motions before the play, and Ramsey's on him one-on-one, and then he motions back across, and Ramsey just loses his absolute shit, just absolutely freaks out. So that's actually an example of why the Eagles put this check in. They were saying, hey, like, we can't get leverage on the goal line here. We need a safety to come with leverage down and then have Ramsey replaced in the middle. So the next week, the Bucks scouted the heck out of this. Todd Bowles did a great job. And Adams started running across, then he pivots back out. It's really on the corner and man coverage on him to confirm that he's going all the way across. 24, I think it's Murphy Bunting. It's Murphy Bunting. So Murphy Bunting starts to the middle like Maddox was with the Eagles, and then he's just still watching Adams. He still has an eye on him, sees Adams pivot back out, and then it's just a dead play. So yeah, this is the first one. This actually, watch both the corners of the bottom. This just kind of shows the Eagles don't have. I mean, both these guys.
Oh, that was Slay. That was Slay getting destroyed.
Exactly.
Right there.
Yeah, that's on Slay for sure. But even Maddox is doing the right thing, and you can watch them right before too. They have these little checks.
Yeah.
Oh, hot. Like
so. Okay, here rewind this one real quick. So this one's interesting. I will give Gannon credit. So he actually makes an adjustment here. Because you can watch Maddox is on Sky Moore up there, and they're not doing that safety switch thing, right? Maddox is going to stay on him. This is actually cover zero, where just one-on-one everybody's blitzing.
Yep.
But then you look at what Maddox does. He's not switching with a safety, but where his eyes are, I have no idea.
Yeah, his eyes look like he's on the quarterback.
Yeah, here at 29.
He's like looking at Kelsey,
right
he's looking at McKinnon, he's looking at Mahomes.
Yeah,
I mean, he's one-on-one with, and it's just like.
And now he sees, like, he's starting to look and notice Sky Moore's wide open. It's like, oh, shit.
Yes.
Look at this, though. You have 3 defenders on Tony at the bottom, just completely doing jack shit. Yeah. And none of them are going to get to Moore over here. Like, it's
he could have walked in.
Look at him in the middle there at 29. Like, he's just fucked, dude. He's like, oh, boy.
Okay, can you go to the very beginning of that play? Because there was some cool so when Mahomes is kind of like audibling and stuff, I don't know if you have that on the clip. So like even a little bit before this on the same play.
Yeah.
No, not the audio, but just they do some hand movements.
Oh, there it is.
So MVS, if you can go like 5 seconds before, like 3 seconds.
Yeah.
Right.
So MVS actually, he holds up his hands, and right before this play, you can see the guys kind of doing the same thing. They're even doing this in the Jacksonville game, where they're like talking to each other and they're saying, hey, we're going to do the same thing. MVS holds up his hand, and then the audible that Pat does right before is he holds up both hands. And so I think there was a Peter King article where he talked with Andy Reid, and he said this is actually a run or a pass, and Pat has the option. So I think this is actually a run here, and then he audibles right before the play to the pass because he just knows it's coming.
Well, yeah, it's also an alignment thing too, right? He like there's nobody out here, right? Out on this flat, right? I mean,
Yeah.
he automatically he's like, no matter what the coverage is going to be, he's probably going to have space to do something over there on the left. And just the fact that the safety bit, it just made it for a perfect play. And yeah, this was what was the score at the time?
Third,
I think
this was
I think
late.
this put him ahead, right?
28-27, I think.
Yeah. This did put him ahead. Yeah,
Yeah.
they were trailing at the time. And then this one.
So what's cool is if you go back, they run Sky Moore on those jet motions all the time, and the Eagles every time are doing that safety switch. So I think even the play right before this, they're just making sure. They're like, oh, dude, we got this again. And then it just, I mean, for this play to work twice, some of the Next Gen Stats Twitter account gets a little ticky-tack, but I think it was like 2 touchdowns of 11-yard plus of separation, like first time in Super Bowl history or something. Which is like, yeah, I mean, it's a little different if, Tyreek burns past somebody one-on-one.
Yeah, where it's a little more straightforward,
Schematic issue right there.
But
Exactly.
we got you for 4 more minutes, so we appreciate you.
You're acting like it's a prison sentence, dude.
I'm
Come
not,
on.
dude. Alex,
Yeah,
he's
check
got
my
his
clock,
hair.
man.
He's got his hair coiffed. He's ready to have an evening. Like I don't have things like hair, so sometimes I get insanely jealous.
My hair isn't ready. I
for
need to
people
get
with hair.
permed.
No one's jealous of your hair, though, Tree. So
Of course not. Of course not. No.
what did you think though of the holding call? Like, I know you watched the defense, and what did you see them like? Was Bradbury doing that all game? Was it just being uncalled and it just kind of jumped up and bit him in the ass at the worst possible time? Like, was there a lot of pass interference or holding that was hiding in plain sight in the game?
So there was a 3rd down with a dig route where Bradbury's one-on-one with Juju, and he held the shit out of him, and they didn't call it. And I kind of like, even then, I don't think if you are going to say this is a makeup call, you still don't make that call. But
Yeah.
I think there was an aspect of that where the ref, I mean, he like yanked Juju's arm back on this dig route, and Juju was freaking out and he just didn't get the call.
Yeah, I think that I remember that play. It was
I did see
yeah.
that.
It was like a crossing route.
Yeah,
So I remember that.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
he had just
Yeah.
been like he was like flipping out. It was like in the
Yeah.
3rd quarter.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So I mean, was it holding? I think it was. Do you want to see the game end like that? Absolutely not. I think
it was ticky tacky in the grand scheme of things.
exactly.
Because they usually let that go.
Yeah,
in most circumstances.
especially at the end. I mean, like on Hail Marys, there's holding every time, and nobody does anything. So I think there's, but it's an impossible game to ref. I don't know how then Chiefs fans are gonna be pissed off, right?
You also
If they
can't.
don't get the call.
Yeah, you can't undermine the influence that the coaches and the players have on the refs. Like, like they missed that call. Reed is in the ref's ear. Like, hey, how are you going to just let him hold my guy like that? And then you just beat on them until they finally call it. And, you don't know what Reed was saying on the sidelines to manipulate that call or it obviously benefited them. The one thing that did upset me, though, is we were robbed the chance of seeing what Jalen Hurts could do in a 2-minute drill with either a field goal or touch. I honestly believe he would have gotten a field goal in that situation, like at least a field goal attempt for Jake Elliott, and it probably would have gone to overtime because there was a lot of time. But you never know. Like the Philly, on the flip side, Philly, when they won their first Super Bowl, they earned it by strip sacking Brady, and he actually got that opportunity. I just thought it was dirty that Philly didn't get the opportunity, especially on a call like that. Now, if he had released clean and Mahomes hit him for a tutty or whatever,
True.
fine, earn it. But that was a ticky-tack call.
Very.
But the script writers, they pulled a okey doke on us once again. All right, Alex, do you have any last salient points before you go off and enjoy your evening?
Yeah, hopefully my girlfriend's
like
like
that
at this point, right in the middle of Valentine's dinner and stuff.
Just wait till you get married. Then it doesn't, like, you will not be on this show 30 minutes before Valentine's Day night.
Yeah.
I'll just
happening
tell you
anymore.
that. Yeah. When you have the 2 kids and it's just like, hey, look, if you don't get your fucking ass off that show, I will fucking leave with both your children and all your assets. Then you're like, guys, I cannot I can't make it.
Stop talking to your fucking camera, man.
Right,
What the hell are you doing in there?
Yeah.
Anyways, sorry. Do you have
Give
any
up your
parting
damn
words?
dream, Five.
Like I know we could probably do this show for like 4 hours, honestly, Alex. But again, we appreciate you, and yeah, whatever you want to say on the way out, it's your floor.
Yeah, no, we really can. And I mean, we were kind of scratching the surface. I think I just want to bring it back to Mahomes. I mean, it was absolutely incredible. I think we really saw it, especially on that 26-yard run right at the end. I mean,
oh yeah,
they're back to the whole
ankle.
pass rushing thing with the D line. They were kind of almost accepting that they were just going to rush straight up field because these guys are pass rushers, and that's where he was escaping. He was going right up the middle, and just his comfortability of just sitting in there and just kind of slithering through with his eyes downfield. I mean, we've never seen it, and I feel like that gets said a million times. But how many quarterbacks? I think it's a good question to end on. How many quarterbacks are winning that game if you're replacing Mahomes with that quarterback?
Oh God!
I mean, you got anybody else get sacked like 8 times.
Yeah, active
or of all
QBs.
time. I mean, a guy who can run
Brady
that good can't pass nearly that good.
I
I
mean,
feel like Brady's getting sacked a lot, though, man.
Yeah,
that's
a lot.
Because like he would be commanding the pocket, he doesn't have the running ability. That's the
Exactly.
Like the thing with Mahomes that is scary is his accuracy. Like, okay,
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson, athletic.
Yeah.
The Justin Fields, athletic. He's gonna overthrow a lot of those passes. Those guys are gonna miss some of those throws that Mahomes makes look easy. Like a couple of those passes, I think, to Kelsey, guys were draped all over Mahomes, and he just climbs the pocket, releases the ball from an insane angle. Like he's like
able to evade the pocket.
He's like a shortstop that's out there that can turn double plays from incredible things. Like he's just the perfect athlete to be playing the most important position in all of sports, and it's a fun thing to watch, and it's I wonder when the resent from Mahomes starts coming.
I think it's already happening.
Yeah,
it's happening.
Yeah.
I think it's happening.
Yeah. I mean, at first he was this lovable guy, the next generation, he gets beat by Brady on that ticky-tack call. Now he's got 2 rings. Like he stacks 3 or 4, 5. He's going to be the next, it's chic.
He's looked at his GOAT conversation.
I think him telling Jackson Mahomes to go away for a little bit helped out the resentment.
Him and
yeah.
And now he's popping back up though, so maybe that resentment.
Yeah. But the problem is, like, I feel like people give Jackson Mahomes too much attention. It's kind of like something where you just look away, and nobody's gonna care for Jackson Mahomes. That's how I've always.
Yeah, but he's calling attention to himself. Like how many other NFL quarterbacks do you know their kid brother that is not a football player?
True. He's taller than Mahomes too.
Yeah, I know.
Mahomes too.
Yeah.
Maybe he makes a late surge.
Yeah. Well, all right, Alex, thanks for joining us. You go have a wonderful evening. Drop 3 buttons down,
Even more.
Have yourself, splash.
My first chest hair grew the other day, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, you got Manscaped. You got a Manscaped. They're a sponsor of yours.
True. Yeah.
You got to use Did you get the beard trimmer as well? Did they send you one yet?
Yeah, it's nice. I don't really grow much, so I'm already good, but I manscape a bit.
I got one thing over you. Yeah, I got one thing. I got a beard.
There we go.
All right, brother.
Sometimes you got to go with the baby face, man.
All right. Thanks, Alex, for joining us. Everyone subscribe
to
to Alex right now. All right.
Thanks, boys.
Definitely.
See ya. All right. Well, let's get through some super chats. I do want to talk about all the other NFL stuff. I want to talk about where Derek Carr is going. I want to talk about shit talking. But let's get through some super chats as we have let them pile up. Connor Akers says, since the Chiefs have Jackson Mahomes and Juju, they should sign Charlie D'Amelio to cheer squad and complete the TikTok triangle. Yeah. Not a big D'Amelio fan. Tucker White 94 Sunday. It starts again. NASCAR kicks off another round of 36 races over the span of 38 weeks with the 65th running of the Daytona 500.
And Grassi will be doing the third stage.
Will be reacting. That one guy, I cried when my team won. I was just so scared the Chiefs were going to blow it when they won. I let it all out of the emotion. It's good to be a Chiefs fan. Good to be a Chiefs fan.
It's always good to be at the top.
It's your window. It's your window. Jerry Mejias, I don't think we're repeating as NFC champions considering we have the strongest schedule in 2023. Yeah,
And
you just lost both your coordinators.
And not just that, look at their free agent list. They have a ton of free agents. Let me look this up.
Yeah, this was kind of an
because like they have a bunch of like depth that's going to be free agents.
Here's the thing: is Roseman, he'll be fine, dude. I think him building a second Super Bowl team, he's probably locked in his job for at least another 5-6 years. You know, like unless they have a 4-year period of missing the playoffs. Like, I mean, he's architected 2 Super Bowl teams and a team that should have won. Definitely was the better team. They just had one mistake, which was Hurts fumbling the ball and a bad call. And if that didn't happen, they're Super Bowl champions. I mean, it wasn't like even like last year. Well, no, last year it felt like the Rams were going to win the whole time. This year it felt like it could have been either way. Really felt like it was the Eagles game.
Here are your free agents. Are you ready?
Yep.
Fletcher Cox, Robert Quinn, Brandon Graham, Javon Hargrave, Jason Kelsey, James Bradbury, Isaac Samalo, Andre Dillard, Kaiser White, TJ Edwards, Ndamukong Suh, Linval Joseph, Boston Scott, Zach Pascal, Miles Sanders, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, Gardner Minshew, Marcus Epps. That is a ton of depth that's going to be a free agent.
Yeah, and depth is important, man, especially when you had Ndamukong Suh, you know, as another anchor on that defensive line, a run eater up in there. Suh's probably, I don't know if he's going to play next year.
He's 36.
Like,
I mean, you have a few guys that might retire. Like Kelsey's been rumored to retire. Linval might retire.
I think Kelsey will be back.
Brendan Graham might retire. Yeah. Fletcher Cox, they might retire.
Yeah. I mean, Philly could have.
That was their shot, I feel like.
Yeah, it was. It was a hell of a team, hell of a roster, and they were dangerous up and down. Samuel Martin. No, wait. Game Show Gumbo. In your opinions, plural, what do you think is the next Big Four sports franchise to move? For me, it's either the Coyotes or, because of recent news, the Orioles. I don't think the Orioles will ever move.
No, I think the
league
Oakland
would
A's
step in on
probably be
that.
the closest. The Orioles depends where they go. If they go to Charlotte or Nashville, I could see them trying it. But I feel like baseball wants to expand for some reason, even though I feel like they should figure out the issues with the Rays and the A's before they even consider that.
The Yotes, it looks like the Yotes are going to stay put. I think they committed to a new arena.
It's a public referendum in May. So if that passes, they stay, and I laugh at Tempe. Or if they don't, they're in deep shit.
They should fucking move. Nobody goes to the games. Like,
the problem is they're playing in a 5,000-seat arena that's owned by Arizona State. They got kicked out of Glendale for not paying rent.
Yeah, then the Panthers are gonna have to look. You're gonna have to look at them. The Orioles, no. I think Rob Manfred would step in before that. A's could move.
Yeah, the A's are still. It's taking too long for that Howard Terminal proposal.
Yeah, the Rays are struggling where they are. Charlotte could get a team. San Antonio,
Nashville,
someday.
San Antonio.
There just needs
Montreal,
to be.
You could always return.
Yeah, the thing is like, it doesn't seem to cost as much to move the team nowadays, especially with public funding and that attraction. So you could see teams move every 20 to 25 years. Like,
maybe
there's no loyalty.
We'll I mean, most people, like most owners, are looking for a handout, if you think about it.
And a hand job.
Yeah, I mean, look at Oakland. I mean, they might lose 3 franchises in 5 years because Oakland can't afford to pay people money because their city's been running on a deficit for God knows how long. They can't afford to throw more money around it, just like vanity projects. They need to
steal those state funds, is what they did. Samuel Martinez says, this sucks because Alex is in here. Alex Rollins, finally get to see you live. I love your content, your breakdown on plays, your explanation of plays and lingos. Used to support you on Patreon. Yeah, I'll convey that over to him. I'll DM Alex, let him know. That one guy, the Eagles were the best team the Chiefs played this year. The Eagles scared me with that sneak formation. Dude, I actually messaged Alex. I was like, dude, they could have ran that sneak formation, done 3 yards in a cloud of dust, and won the most boring 14-7 Super Bowl ever. The Chiefs could not stop it. In fact, there was one play where they did stop it, and they were like, no, you're not.
They just pushed forward. Yeah, I mean, that was the key for me. It was the trenches. And I mean, Philly dominated in the trenches on the offensive defensive line. My surprise is that Philly's defensive line could not get anything going against the Chiefs' offensive line. Even though the Chiefs' O-line's solid, it's just I expected Philly to get a lot more pressure than they did. There was some pressure, but nowhere near enough.
Yeah. Yeah, that sneak is getting absolutely
well.
banned.
They're banning. They're probably going to ban the rugby push.
Yeah, they were running it out of the victory formation, which is not an illegal formation, but that was some elementary school type shit. That was like, middle school football.
I mean, come on. Even Joe Judge didn't do that. He should have done that, though.
Yeah, he should have. Mr. Yes, will you guys cover the NHL trade deadline? We should have things to talk about. Are you going to do your
I usually do the stream. I do the stream.
Yeah, yes. Tree does it solo because he knows more about the NHL trade deadline than me, and you know more about the players. Boy, Kirby Dach has really blossomed.
Doc has been so.
Yeah.
But Montreal in general has been having a lot of injuries. So, like Caulfield's out, Slavkovsky's out, like Gallagher's out. I mean, they have a lot of just like woes, but Kirby Dach has been a bright point. Another bright point as of recently, Raphael Harvey-Pinard. I think he has something like 6 goals and 8 points in 9 games. Yeah. But it's like very short sample size, but it's not a bad start.
Yeah. One thing is Kaner. Like, where's Kaner going to go? Right.
Patrick Kane?
Yeah.
It depends. I mean, his analytics, if you actually look at them, they're not that good.
He's banged up.
He's banged up and he's being force-fed minutes. He's not what he was anymore.
Yeah, he's old and he could help a contender. I think that's why the Rangers kind of passed on him. He wanted to be a Ranger, but they were like, nah, Tarasenko probably has more left in the tank.
And honestly, I mean, Chicago probably wanted a first-round pick.
Yeah, and the Rangers were able to get away with not having to give up too much. They gave up Sammy Blaze, I think, in a second.
Sammy Blaze second, and a defensive prospect named Hunter Skinner. You didn't really give up that much. Like Blay kind of got forced out of the plans after that injury. He's like a bottom sixer. He didn't really fit in the plans. I mean, you probably could have used him on the 4th line, but not really. So Tarasenko, I mean, you could plop him in. Like where Capo Caco or somebody like that's supposed to be. Like Kravtsov hasn't really.
They put him down on the second line, and then Kravy demanded a trade. So they're looking at trying. Yeah, I mean he's been a petulant little diva since he signed. So it hasn't been. It's no secret.
Yeah, he went back to Russia last year.
Yeah, I was actually surprised that Kravtsov even got minutes this year. I didn't think he would come to Big Blue. But what I want to see is them move him for some blue line help, and then the Rangers could be pretty dangerous.
So you're probably looking at maybe a struggling defenseman prospect, or maybe even a John Klingberg.
Didn't Chichurin or whatever? Didn't he get traded?
Chikrin? No, he has not been traded yet. But Chikrin is going to demand a ton in return.
Yeah, I don't think Kravtsov.
If you're looking, Kravtsov is not going to move the needle. I mean, you're going to have to give up a Lafreniere or Keandre Miller. You are not giving that up.
No way.
Not for Chitrin.
Nah, the Rangers right now, all they need is a blue line help because they're running 3 lines and they're fucking nasty right now. So
then maybe a 4th line, third liners to roll with your 4th line. Get those Reynolds in, lock and load, ready to rock and roll.
Yeah, we diving into some hockey right now. Mr. Yes, which NFL team needs the big cap space to rebuild? Obviously the Raiders. They just cleared up a bunch.
The Bears have $100 million in cap space.
Yeah,
the Bears have a lot. The Falcons have a good bit, but they have a lot of holes.
Yeah, just having cap space doesn't mean that you can rebuild
or spend it wisely.
It depends on who's available, right? It depends on, you just it's like just being single doesn't mean you're gonna get ass.
Oh, not at all.
Yeah, so just having a lot of cap space does not mean that you can build a winner. Now you have to build all those pieces until you can use that cap space to add the final. Like to me, free agents are like the roof of the house. Like you don't start building your house.
They're not the foundation. I mean, like your prospects are your home foundation, your bones and your roof. Your free agents are more like the knickknacks, the couch, the TV, the appliances. That's what free agents is. And even then, you can get that from homegrown.
Yeah. Yeah, you can just get those at Home Depot. Just get those. Get those free agents. All right. Mr. Yes says send the Yotes to Quebec or KC. Who will the Penguins trade at the deadline? Ooh,
I mean,
a
Yotes aren't going to Quebec because they're in the Central Division. They're not realigning. If they're going anywhere, it's going to be Houston, maybe Kansas City. But I feel like Houston would be.
I don't think Kansas City could support a hockey.
Kansas
team.
City does have a new arena, so that's why they could. I don't know if they have the corporate dollars.
See, the thing is like with arenas, and I've studied this a little bit, is like the arenas don't always translate well to, even though they're sort of configured for basketball or in that way, they don't always translate well to hockey. Like you can lose a lot of angles. Like there might be pavilions.
Well, I mean, it's usually built for basketball. Like,
yeah.
I forget. Barclays Center was notorious for that because when the Owls were there, the ice was terrible. The sidelines were horrible. You couldn't sell like one portion of the side just because you couldn't see the net.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, anyways, and Dodger of Zion, she types in F. Yeah, the Dodger, the only fan.
That's the thing, Yoshi. Tillman Fertitta
about.
Does own like the venue, so he is interested in owning a hockey team.
Mm-hmm. Oh, one thing, just to go back to the game, people were complaining about the turf. The NFL has no say over the playing surface of the arena that they choose to play in. Like, yes, I get that it's $1 billion company, but the NFL actually has no sway there. It is the
I'm surprised
venue.
by that.
Yeah, it's the venue. So like the NFL cannot go to, say, Dan Snyder and be like, you need to fix this shitty ass field. Like, obviously Dan Snyder knows he has to fix it, but again, the NFL has no governance. It's whoever owns the stadium. It's whoever is the operator of that stadium. It's their responsibility for the turf. Maybe that'll change in the future. Maybe the NFL will have some type of say or sway over that, but it's not going to happen. All right, let's go to Juju Smith-Schuster today.
TikTok boy.
Hold on, let me find it. Let me find the shade that he sent. This is all the show prep that we do, huh? We just
I mean, we wing it, brother.
Yeah,
we wing this shit hard.
Go ahead and here it is. I got it. You probably all saw it, but I'll put it in as an overlay.
Nothing
a
wrong
little TikTok boy.
Nothing wrong with that. While you look that up, I'll do
I got
the
it.
next super
I got
chat.
it.
Oh, cool.
You do it.
Yep. Dodger of Zion for $5. F.
Oh, I already read that. Mm-hmm.
And I'll hold you when it matters most. Oh,
yep.
Heart.
Mm-hmm. Hearts. What did you think of it? Like, was that necessary? I thought it was funny, but unnecessary.
Well, the problem is, like, I feel like most of it felt like NFL meme style. So it's like, I mean, I get why you do it, but at the same time, it's a little overkill because Juju's just doing it to flex.
Mm-hmm.
And then AJ Brown just went off on Juju. I mean, AJ went a little excessive, saying like Juju was on the brink of being kicked out of the league. Juju was not being kicked out of the league. Like he was, second, third wide out. He was not like out of the league per se.
No,
so
yeah,
he did rebound his
AJ
career, but at the same
right.
time, it's like, I wouldn't go that far.
Yeah, I would not. Yeah, I mean, he was definitely headed down. He was trending down when
he was. I mean,
Stillers cast him off, but
like they let him go because like he was excess goods at that point, and he did get injured, I believe.
And then Juju responds by saying, I'm glad you had that all on your chest or whatever. And then he says, good game though. And he showed like he put the ring emoji or something like that. And it was, I mean, it was interesting,
Corvette, that shit, Juju.
Yeah, Corvette. That was the bane of your existence for a while. 11-0 and Corvette.
Oh yeah, that was rough.
You were a meme. You were a living.
The whole
meme.
team was a meme, dude.
The team was a meme. What a dream. Jerry Mejias. It wasn't Juju's fault that Captain Fat Man was in Twilight. Yeah.
I mean, it was just like 3-yard screens. What I remember is him just like guiding Juju Smith-Schuster to get decked by Von Bell. I think his soul's still at Paycor Field. He just got decked.
Hold on, I got some fun things to share for us here.
I feel like you should show us your posse. Commit some adultery.
Yeah. So that's you in a male romper.
Show me your posse.
Yep.
That should be his new theme, his new catchphrase. Show me your posse.
Show me your posse. This one's my favorite though.
Let's scoot on out of here like the Cowboys in January.
And then this last one here.
No, his should be make me a grown man. There's your Valentine's Day. That's good Valentine's.
Somebody had a good suggestion. Was it should have been Let's Ride. For Brandon. But this one's the best.
Show me your posse.
No
oh
doubt.
yeah. He has that seductive look too, where it's like, you want to show me your posse. You want to show me it too. And he'll bring out Wildflower. It's like, show me your posse. Show me your posse. I can't do it. You have to find a way. You have to get like the right cadence to it, and just it's something special.
And this one's good. Let's commit some adultery.
Oh, nothing wrong with committing some adultery, baby.
Oh, I gotta show mine, I guess, but mine wasn't good. I didn't really have a good one for mine. Yeah, everyone wants to know where mine is. I should have changed it to let's franchise tag team or something like that. But I hope you franchise me was all I could come up with for me. It's hard to insult yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Don't worry. Oh, I insult myself all the damn time.
Yep.
I do that all the time. Come on, man.
Yeah, it's all good, buddy. Did you read? Oh, yes. Yeah, so, all right, let's talk about Derek Carr. All right, so he gets released outright, and we see that he's going to move on. What's your speculation? A lot of people are saying the Saints for some reason.
The Saints, if you have the right contract thing, but I'm going to ask you a question. I'm going to ask everyone a question. Do you think Derek Carr really fixes that team? Because the Saints have a lot more serious issues than quarterback right now. Their team is aging. Their team is injury poor. He's like 32, 33. So, like, Andy Dalton did all right as their quarterback. That wasn't really their issue. The real issue was Michael Thomas can't stay healthy. You don't know what's happening with Alvin Kamara. A bunch of players kept getting injured, and you're going to lose a few more. I mean, you lost Teron Armstead. You lost, Marcus Williams. You'll probably lose a few more. You don't know how much Cameron Jordan has left in the tank. DeMario Davis, too. You don't know how much he has left. Andres Pete's been injured roughly the past 3 years. So, I mean, at that point, you're in a situation where you might have to rebuild.
Yeah, I don't think Carr wants to go to a rebuild situation.
And I know the Saints can restructure all their contracts and be okay, but you can't properly upgrade. If you get Derek Carr, you're going to have to cut more than Michael Thomas.
Yeah. The Saints doesn't. The Saints don't strike me. I think the Jets could be one.
Could work
because it's so easy to move on from Zach Wilson. You can just jettison him.
It's not even that. You can keep him on the roster as a backup.
That's true. Yeah, you could keep his sorry ass there.
You can just stash him.
Another second overall pick that just sucks ass.
I mean, that's what the Jets do, and there's peak Jets that you have issues at quarterback. The entire team around him looks like they're gunning for a championship if you get the right damn quarterback.
And then the last real thing.
Ooh, speaking of showing us your posse, I think the posse has just shown itself.
Ooh, it's loser town for all the non-people doing anything on Valentine's Day.
Honestly, most people do Valentine's Day on the weekend before usually.
When my wife just hates Valentine's Day.
I don't really give a shit about Valentine's Day. It's just like,
luckily for that, like Yeah, like
In the restaurant
typically-
industry, we call that amateur hour because it'd just be
Yeah.
a bunch of like random people on awkward first dates and they get the most expensive crap on the menu. Like
And
you
you
don't
would
really
love
go to
that shit.
restaurants if you do that. Oh, of course. But the
You
problem
would
is
love
like
that
most people
shit.
don't know what the hell they're doing.
Yeah,
just like-
yeah. Mhm.
It's like, so do
Hey,
you want
Tom.
the lobster for 2?
Mhm. Hey Tom, what'd you think of this, Tom?
Mm.
Do you like that, buddy? Are you gonna show me your posse, Tom?
His posse's getting all grossy right now.
This posse is
Soppy.
getting all grassy. Come on, Tom. It's beautiful. Tom's gonna print it out. Tom, can you print it out and put it behind your in your little
That needs to
background
be
there?
your new
Very subtle.
catchphrase now, man. Show me your posse.
Yes. Mhm. Sure. And you got to say it in a French accent. Hello there. Show me.
No, it should be a Spanish. Show me your posse.
Show me your posse. Show me your pussy. Alex Schrader says, thought on Monken to the Ravens.
Todd
His
Monken.
posse is only reserved for Brandon. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
We've
I think
never
that is that a way to try and get Lamar back. I don't know a ton about Todd Monken, unfortunately. I know he's bounced.
Oh, the
around.
coordinator. Yeah,
Yes.
the coordinator. Yeah. So I read Brett Coleman's tweets and he says Monken's like good. So or could fit him. So anything Brett
It
says. when it
depends. I
comes
mean, you
to
still have to
football,
pay
I
Lamar,
trust.
and I don't know if Baltimore wants to pay him. That's the only problem.
They will. They will. I've said this a million times. Like, there's just no way they can let him walk. Just none.
It depends if he gets untenable, you can get 3-4 first-round picks for him.
Mhm. Kevin Von Michael Magnum. So apparently, Delusional Titans Twitter is believing that Tannehill to be traded to the Jets for 2 mid-round picks. And no, I don't want
I
that.
did hear that. Apparently, the Jets like Tannehill more. It's a rumor.
That's
so you can't
just-
take it with a grain of
that's-
salt.
That's-
But what's Ryan Tannehill's dead cap?
I don't know.
Because you would have to ask that first and foremost.
His dead
Yeah,
cap.
his dead cap is
high.
18 million. 18
You know-
million for next year.
Do you know
So I
that,
don't know if you pay that.
Do you know that Kyler Murray's dead cap this year was $91 million? And then next
Probably because
year-
of the extension.
In 2024, it's 84 million. So they had 170 million in dead cap. Now, obviously, that's not actualized, but for
Yeah,
you
but
to trade
it's-
Kyler Murray next year, it would cost you. 80
Yeah, you're
million
stuck.
in
You're
dead
stuck
cap.
with Kyler Murray for the next 4 years. In 2026, your dead cap is 20 million. And do you swallow that if he doesn't do well?
Mm.
So it's 2027 is pretty much you're out $7.2 million dead cap. But as I said, like that's the price you pay for
Yeah.
doing that.
Jerry Mejia says, I don't think the Jets are doing anything with Nathaniel Hackett as OC. No, they're going to bring back flashbacks of Mike Heimerdinger. That's what's gonna happen.
Or they go for Aaron Rodgers. He is currently in the 4 days of darkness, apparently.
Is he?
That is apparently due.
Hold
I'm
on.
guessing it's the
We
4
need
days of
to-
darkness. I mean,
and-
here's my problem with the whole 4 days of darkness thing.
Mhm.
I don't have my lights on me.
In honor of Aaron Rodgers, we're going to go dark, everyone. We're just going to go dark here. Hold on. Let me do something. Let me turn this one down too. We're going to make it darker.
I'll shut off my lights.
Okay. Yes. Everyone, if you're at home as part of the show, yep, here we go. You must turn off your light.
Days of darkness.
The days of darkness are
Oh
upon us.
yeah. Ooh,
Let's all join
there we go.
in a stream of
4 days
darkness.
of
My
darkness.
floating head back here. Look, this is the Kadarius Tony draft night. All right, let's relax. Okay, let's see if we unearth some truths.
Let me get a darker Twitter here. There it is.
There you go. There you go. All right,
There we go.
all right. It's dark. It's dark. All right, you gotta confess one thing. Okay, in this dark.
I think the spirits are telling me right now. They are telling me. Actually, it's a little hazy.
Everyone in
I'm
the
still trying
chat.
to figure it out.
Everyone in the chat. Tell us one secret. Just one secret of yours. Sometimes I like to. I stuff my hand down my pants and I'll pull it out and then smell my hand. I'll do
You're a
that.
sick bastard.
I'm just.
I
We're
can't-
sharing. We're sharing here. This is the point of the darkness.
I think with the darkness, I think there's going to be a lot of mushrooms and psychedelics being taken. And then the gods will tell Aaron Rodgers either to reconnect with his family and he will openly reject them, or he will see a vision of Devontae Adams. And he will yell at him for being a bad quarterback, and he will go to the Jets.
Did you guys even notice that Hiei was in here? How did he get in here? Tree.
Are you in the darkness?
Where's your hand?
It's right here.
Hand check.
Mine's between two pillows.
Mm-hmm. Oh, is there a little crater that you're trying to finger underneath?
Yeah, it feels very moist down there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean
That's
you
not
would do
the
that, you
pillows,
sick
man.
bastard.
You're underneath of the fucking soda machines at Hooters right now, trying to clean that shit out.
Oh yeah.
More than soda
Actually, I
machines.
enjoy it. Charlie Hen says, since we mentioned it, went to the guitar shop today, getting my mind off today being V-Day. Basically, see myself at this holiday's Ebenezer Scrooge. When did Dodger get here?
Uh-oh.
Shit, this is the
Is it
most
really
lit. This is the most lit darkness.
Dodger
retreat
looks
ever.
like she's the lady with the flashlight in the Blair Witch. Project.
Yeah.
Like she's about to cry.
Yeah.
Oh, you gotta
she's-
wiggle the camera around, like.
It's like-
I'm so scared.
Oh, yeah.
We blew a 10-point lead.
That was pretty
I
bad.
don't know what we're gonna do now. Mahomes is looking too good. I wish I could tell Ag that I left the oven on.
Mm-hmm.
We're all dead.
If they find me in Arizona, just tell the mayor I'm not coming in that day. Just tell him that. Just please. We blew a 10-point lead. I'm never gonna recover from this.
Jerry
no,
Marias
that's-
says, I like to eat catnip in the dark. Ooh, that's okay.
Catnip. Ooh,
Smoke a little
kinky.
catnip. Kevin Von Michael and Magnum, Aaron Rodgers' vision is now Hiei's evil smile. Like, that's all he sees. He's up there. He's like, I went on a darkness retreat and I saw a barricade in my street.
America's about to reach out and touch.
Uh-huh. Dodge, how you doing? It was a great game, Dodge. The team played
Well,
really well.
Like I said,
It was epic.
like I said, we blew a fucking 10-point lead in a game that we had no right to lose. That was the frustrating aspect. I mean, everybody talks about Jalen Hurts fucking the ball. No, we had a 10-point lead that we could have very easily held on to, but we took our foot off the throat. We took our foot off the gas, and we just let the game get away from us, and it was never going to come back. That's the long and the short of it. It was incredibly frustrating to watch. And I know, Hiei, you said that we're built for a longer run, but I don't know, because we have a lot of free
You got a
agents
lot of
that are
offensive line pieces to replace.
yeah,
Hargrave
our-
might be gone. And
Hargrave's probably gone. I
Yeah,
don't
you
know.
have a lot of
Damn.
issues.
if someone's
Fletcher-
going to hand him the bag of money, but he is 30 now. So
Fletcher
Well,
Cox
him,
is
Chauncey
probably
Gardner
gone.
Johnson's probably gone. Cox is probably going to retire. Kelsey might retire.
Kelsey,
Kelsey
Samalo, you
is very
could probably
likely going to
keep.
retire.
Dillard's probably gone. He can't stay healthy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
the two largest failures of Philadelphia in the entire Super Bowl, the defense did not get Mahomes.
Mm-hmm.
Hobbled with an ankle, or recovered from that ankle, or whatever stage he was in, did not get him on the ground at all.
And that's
maybe
unacceptable.
once, which is the one where they aggravated his ankle injury and he was wincing in pain. Number two, the big wide receiver trades. Yes, they did make some big shot catches, but in that entire second half, when Kansas City sold out to blitz them, the wide receivers were nowhere to be found. They were still running down the field on routes. They had to come back to Hurts to help him bail out of the situation where 7 Chiefs are running after him. And they did not do it. Just didn't do it.
No.
Mm-hmm. Tough times.
Also, it's
All
right
right.
about now. I'm expecting the Undertaker's bong to hit right about now.
All right, we can wrap up the show. It's
Mhm.
been a brief, we obviously
Yeah,
streamed
I
on
mean,
Sunday
it's
night.
the off season.
Yeah, it's the off season. We'll have plenty.
So there's
we'll
not
do
much to
hockey.
talk about.
There's baseball. We'll have a whole thing with baseball.
Mhm.
Dodge, I feel sad for you.
Do you
No,
really
he doesn't.
though?
He doesn't. He
Do you
doesn't.
really?
I feel sad for you personally, okay, but no other fucking Eagles.
Not
fan,
Jim
I don't
Kramer.
feel.
Fuck Jim
Yeah.
Kramer.
Fuck
Oh,
Jim,
Jim
Kramer.
Kramer.
I know nothing.
What
You
is
know
it?
nothing. You know nothing, Jim Kramer.
Shut up about
Kevin
the
Von
Bear
Magnum,
Stearns.
number 3 reason putting Brett Kern on the inactive list. Yeah. All right, let's bring in Kevin to close out the show. Why not?
Is he in the dark too?
Yeah, but only if he's in the dark.
Mhm.
Only if Kevin is
Must be
in the
the
dark.
darkness.
Kevin, you
And
must
then we'll
enter
wrap up the
darkness.
show.
Embrace the darkness. my
Hello,
friend.
darkness, my old friend.
Oh, what is
The
it? The start of
Eagles
Bear
blew
season
a
again?
lead again.
Yeah, I
Because
mean,
the defense softly failing left me on the couch wailing.
Oh,
oh,
I
and
see
did you
someone's
cry?
asking if he is ready for the draft.
Was kicking all the ass.
Are you
and
ready though?
going
Yeah.
fast
I would love to.
in the
I am ready
silence
for the draft, and I will state
of
that
silence.
I am ready for any way, shape, or form that the Bears are just going to fuck this up completely. That they've been given the opportunity of the entire franchise before them, and I'm just waiting for us to piss it away.
Mm-hmm.
I
it
hope
time.
that we do trade down. I don't think Will Anderson Jr. is going to turn this team around tomorrow. We need more pieces, a lot of pieces.
Yep.
And unless we engineer some manner of Herschel Walker trade out of pick number 1, this is not going to be a magic bullet turnaround year.
I mean, it depends. If Jim Irsay is enough of a crazy asshole, could happen.
Well, he is, considering that today they were in the middle of an interview with him and Ballard were in the same room, that he said, that Alabama kid's looking pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
So
Either that or it's like a smokescreen.
I'll
Probably
remember
not,
the day
considering
after the
it's Irsay.
season ended that Irsay came right out in front of the media and said that we're going to do everything we can to get the quarterback of the future. And I believe that crazy man Irsay is going to go up into that fucking 6th floor office that he's got. He's going to reach into that desk. He's going to pull out his little glass tapper. He's going to pull out a razor blade, and he's going to pull out a brick. And he's going to break that brick up on that glass plate, and he's going to rail that shit up his nose. And the Bears, he could offer the Bears the entire Indianapolis franchise. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And then he
Oh, yeah.
becomes the next Ryan Leaf.
There's Kevin in the dark. Sorry, I was being distracted. All right, we got to turn off. Was there any super chats that came in?
Well,
Hold on, we need a
Paris
dark
Johnson.
background.
I mean, that'd be nice.
Jeremy
if
Hias,
Bears-
Bears need Paris Johnson. And Charlie Hinge, I'll just add this personal song of the day is Anesthesia by Typo Negative.
Paris Johnson is only going to happen if the Bears trade down as far as Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
Before we leave, though, I got to ask everyone.
As you can see,
What was the
I am
most
being
drunk
held against my
or-
will.
Laying on your bed, held against your will. We see that.
Yes. Yes.
Yep.
There's a dominatrix that's holding you to the wall. What's the safety word?
Everything. God damn it.
I'm just asking. What's the most drugged out or darkness you've
No.
ever been in? Like,
Oh God.
Drugged out was probably at a campfire about a little over 10 years ago. Bad
Yeah.
weed hit.
I
he's
can
got-
tell you,
dark.
was back in late 2017 after we were getting done with the job I was doing at the employer I had at the time. I took an entire weekend to myself and turned off the company phone. And I left my home Friday night at 5:30, and I didn't wake up until Saturday at noon with my keys in the front door of my apartment.
that sounds pretty drunk.
Most
More than that.
the most twigged out I ever was after I was on a camping trip with my coven at the time, and I had been given absinthe for the very first time, and that was fun. So
The most fucked up I've ever been. Tell you guys.
Oh,
was,
boy.
We stuffed some shrooms into a burrito, and then we went to an amusement park. And that was a bad idea. Like, you would think that being at an amusement park, like King's Dominion would be fun when you're shrooming. It was not.
No.
First of all, we
Too much
spent
noise.
45 minutes looking at the map, arguing. Like we could not fucking figure out where to go. Like we were just like, are we gonna go to this ride? And then we started looking. Then the shrooms kicked in, and I was staring at this tree for like 20 minutes. 20 minutes, and then we started arguing again. Then we finally get in line for the Outer Limits, this roller coaster. It was 2 hours, and when you're shrooming, you don't want to be near people. We were near people for 2 hours. It was very unpleasant, and it was a good burrito, though. It was. Okay, we can end the show. Thank you all for coming out. Oh, Jerry Mejia is trying to sneak one by. This is the most drunk I've ever been. Was my
Please.
friend's 21st birthday in August.
Oh yeah, 21st birthdays. Yeah, you get plastered.
You got to do
Yeah,
that,
right.
man. That's doing the job. America approves of that.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All
Absolutely.
right, we will. Tree, what you got coming out?
Well, MLB offseason sports ball. I'm hoping to have that come out in the next few days. I'm editing it right now.
All right, thanks, Darian, for stopping by. I
Definitely.
have
Thanks, Darian.
Why Are the Cardinals So Bad coming out tomorrow before noon.
That's like a 20-minute video on its own.
It's like 10 minutes. I mean,
Sure.
it's pretty easy to figure out why they're so bad.
Well, it's because they suck.
Yeah, there's shit. All right, y'all. Love y'all. We'll see you next week on the dumpster. Well, we'll see you on Clickbait, but we'll see you on Thursday. Later. Love y'all.
From the
Definitely.
darkness.
Afterburn
comes the
in 10
Whopper
minutes,
Slopper
y'all.
Oh,
Whopper.
okay.